One of the things that you can note about this type of harvest is it's there to teach you patience. All right, here we go. See, I got it. 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 Guten gardening, everybody. Well, today I'm going to attempt what is typically the hardest sweet potato harvest for us. And what I mean by that is we're growing sweet potatoes in our front garden space in our native soil. And if you've watched any of our videos or been around our channel for an extended period of time, you probably know that our native soil is clay. And so while we have been adding our own compost over the last couple of years to this front garden space, getting in here is no easy feat. And on top of that, we've had a couple of days of rain, about 2 inches of rain, and I have no idea what that's going to cause to happen for this harvest, but we're going to get into it and I'll talk you through the sweet potatoes that we planted, etc. Let's go ahead and get started. Now you might notice lying across this bed in a couple spaces we have some of the callaloo, and this callaloo is one of those plants that's very common in the Caribbean. They call it pigweed as well, but this is a specific type of pigweed meant to be eaten. It's all gone to seed. These seeds are going to potentially spread everywhere, so I want to get this pulled up as well. But this is something that our family eats as a nice green. Typically I would just cut it off, but it's so easy to pull up, especially with the rain. How many of you have eaten callaloo before? How many of you have tried it out? It's a really different taste in my opinion, one that I didn't have until I was a little bit older. And then the next step up is going to be just to move this temporary fencing out of the way. And I don't wear gloves very often out here, but this has developed over time, and even through gloves this can hurt. It's rubbing up against my arm right now. I don't appreciate that. I'm gonna get this pulled out of here. I don't have to deal with this during the harvest. Ooh, that's massive. Okay, that probably should have been pulled up earlier. Now the variety of sweet potato we have growing in here is actually called bunch Porto Rico sweet potatoes, and they are a bush type sweet potato, which means, you know, if you don't have that 6, 8, 10 feet of space that you need for a vine to spread, this one's only going to spread about 3 feet or so, and you can get some pretty good production. Again, I'm not going to predict anything at this point given the crazy season we've had with our sweet potatoes, but you never know. We've done pretty well in our native soil, minus the fact that they're kind of painful to dig up because of the clay. Now what's really cool is I pulled off all those leaves and you wouldn't really know anything's growing here, but it's all right underneath the surface. And I planted 15 total slips in here, about a foot apart, try to give them plenty of space. So we'll see what each of them hold. Our first slip is right down in here, and we're going to get a look at it right now. Now we've done well with this variety in the past, but these are another one of our sweet potatoes that took a while to look like they were doing anything. And this one in particular, this slip, the one I'm starting with, didn't develop nearly as well as some of the other ones. So what is that going to mean? I have no idea. I guess we're about to find out what's underneath here. Should I try? Should I try to pull it up? I mean, there's no way anything's going to come. I can hear things breaking off underneath. Now you see where these are attached, there are multiple pieces here. All right, this top layer, the surface inch or so, is really nice and loose. That's a change from previous seasons. But the question is going to be, how deep do I have to go? There we go. There's the first one right there. How deep am I going to have to go to get in here and get some results? I've got my little spade here just to, just as an in case. I'm really hopeful for this harvest. I'll be honest with you, as much as it's a struggle, we just saw such really nice size last season. I'm hopeful that that is indicative of some pretty good size this season. All right, here are our first 2 sweet potatoes down in here. They're not massive. I can tell they're a little bit longer, but the problem is they're so deep down and it's so slippery. Was this another one right up above it? Yeah, they're so slippery. This is what happens when you get that wet soil. And actually, I think this root, you know what, I'm just going to pull from up above it as well. I think this one is coming from next door. I don't think this is on the same sweet potato plant. This one is. All right, let's see. Okay, we've got it loose. We've got it loose. Here it comes, our first sweet potato, and it's beautiful. You see how wet it is? It's soaking wet. You know, with some of our beds, if they're not well draining, we'll get 2 inches of rain, and it doesn't mean anything for those bottom layers. For a sweet potato like this, I got to get this out of here right away, because that longer bit of rain that we just had, that 2 inches of rain we just had, it's going to go down in here, and it's going to sit on those sweet potatoes, and that will definitely cause rot. You know, as I get down in here, you can really see what I'm talking about with this clay. You see that? It's just clay down in there. The top layer, less so because of all the compost we've been adding. All right, this is another nice sweet potato, but it's off to the side. It's off on this second sweet potato slip here. I'll see if there's anything else with this one. I'm going to dig down off to the side with my trowel, see if I missed anything. Just do it gently because I don't want to damage anything. As I mentioned, there might be more down in here. You see I broke this one right off. Well, that gives you a good indication of the color of the skin here, the color of the flesh, like that brightish yellowish orange flesh inside, the darker orangish red skin. The problem we're going to have is if I don't get way down underneath here, they're like stuck in here because of this clay. I'm going to tell you something. This is a harvest where I'm going to actually probably need a shovel. So now I've gotten past that first one. I know that there is a sweet potato kind of growing off to the side over here, but I'm going to get into these, what I think are a little bit healthier. They were a little bit healthier looking to me. The vines are a little bit firmer on these sweet potatoes, and I'm going to see if we can get maybe even, you know, some bigger production off here. I kind of anticipate that being the case. And what I'm going to do is to come at this from pretty far away, because I don't know how big they're going to be, and try to loosen up the soil back here. If I can do that, I think I can make my attack a little bit better, and I might even be able to pull some of these out of here still attached. There's a smaller one right there. I might even be able to keep some of them attached if I'm lucky. Oh, boy, every year I say we probably won't grow back in here the next season, but then I get some good results, and it's hard to keep that. All right, there's some decent ones in here. I can feel, I think my key today is going to be just not breaking all of them apart. There, you see, it's a nice size one right there. This one was attached, it broke off. And just as I said, let's try not to break them apart. And I think the ones that are going to break are the ones that are way down in here. They're going to break the most easily. And I think you can hear it in my voice. I'm exerting some work here. There we go. That's nice, and I still broke some of it off. Unbelievable. You know what? I don't see any damage to these, but I'm thinking I got to get these to dry out pretty quickly if I'm going to keep them for any length of time. And when it comes to sweet potatoes, you know, part of the value of growing sweet potatoes is being able to store them for a longer period of time. Because if you can get 7-8 months out of some sweet potatoes, I mean, that's a lot of food for your family in the long term. And of course, sweet potatoes are a really nice nutrient-dense plant, a nutrient-dense food to add to your family. And so, oh, this feels pretty nice right here. Oh, how in the world? And this is why we have raised beds. And this is why we have container gardens too. Don't get me wrong, I'm not out here complaining. Oh my. I'm just breaking them. That's the problem. I'm still going to eat them. So don't get me wrong there either. they're still going to be delicious, but you ruin the shelf storage. You can't store sweet potatoes if they're broken in half. You can't store them for very long. Well, at this point, I'm pretty confident that these are some of the dirtiest sweet potatoes I will have ever harvested. I mean, really. Here, this one is going to come out. This is the one we saw earlier. Not terrible size, but definitely the dirtiest. Hey, look what I found. A little ladybug helping us out here. I appreciate you. Well, after the ease of, growing sweet potatoes in hay and those kinds of harvests, one of the things that you can note about this type of harvest is it's there to teach you patience. And I'm learning patience because as I start to go quickly, even just a little bit quickly, I break the sweet potato. So I want to come in here, like this is a pretty nice one. I want to see, is it loose? Is it loose? Can I pull it out without breaking it? Yes, I can. And if I'm just a little patient, I get a nice result. If I'm a little patient, if I'm a little impatient, I get a broken result. Some of these are taking me 2-3 minutes to get out. All right, here we go. See, I got it. 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 I knew I would. Wait, I imagine because of how hard they have to work getting through this clay, the shapes are kind of disfigured for a large number of these. But disfigured doesn't matter one bit when it comes to whether or not these are going to be absolutely delicious. All right, we are into the garden proper now. I'm sitting where there were sweet potatoes before, and it's definitely not getting any easier. I'm actually digging even at the start now, digging around here just to try to gain access, because right here in the middle may be harder even than the other areas to access for whatever reason. But let's see what we got attached to this one. I'm just pulling up the first couple inches just to see where the other ones are, just to see where the sweet potatoes are. Here we go. And you can see them uncovered right there. Oh, this one looks pretty nice. Oh, get right underneath it. Oh, I think we can get this one. I think this one's going to be easy. I don't want to speak too soon. Okay, this is nice. I'm going to break it off right there. Yeah, really nice. Really nice sweet potato right there, and that was easy. I'll take more of those, please. Thank you. Probably more right on the other side here. Yep, there's another one right there growing out here. Yep, there you go. A little smaller. So far, no vole damage. I can say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this has been, since our first year of growing, our best year in terms of not losing our plants to the critters. This has been our best. I'm not saying we didn't lose any, because we definitely did. Oh, there's another one way down in here. Well, 8 or 10 inches of depth in a raised bed does not compare in any way to 8 or 10 inches of depth here in the native soil. Man, it's like, I don't know, what is it that you pull out of the mud that would even compare? Whew, there we go. Well, I tell you what, I teach my students at school about enjoying the struggle, and I'm enjoying the struggle so much that I'm halfway forgetting to even talk about the plant itself. Talk about this variety of sweet potato. One of the things that we always look for, and I mentioned that this is a bush variety of sweet potato. Here, I think I feel one of the sweet potatoes over here. Well, I'm going to come in this one. This one looks like a really nice, healthy slip. So I'm hopeful for some good production, but I'm going to, as usual now, I'm going to dig away from it, try to get in there, get it exposed a little bit. We always look for plants that we love the taste of, but then because we have such limited space here, we're also looking for varieties that we can grow in that limited space, and a bush variety sweet potato is a great option, and this is one that we've had pretty good success with in recent years. We got these particular ones from Taterman, and we've done that for quite a few of our slips. We've grown quite a few, and we've also purchased quite a few. Oh, there's one right down in here. I think I was just underneath it. Here's the bottom of it. You see it right here? Let's get it uncovered. It's a pretty nice one too. is when you see these healthier slips, you kind of expect a little bit bigger sweet potatoes off them. And I can feel another one underneath this one too. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. The benefit of clay is that there's a lot of nutrients typically in your clay soil. So if you're looking for some nutrient density, the clay is not going to hurt you one bit. But if you're looking for ease of growing, impatient. If you're looking for ease of growing, and then, or at least ease of harvesting root crops, and this isn't where it's at. This one's going to be a nice one. I can see quite a few. There's another couple right down in here. You can see multiple sweet potatoes. And as I'm digging my finger away, I'm actually running along the line of this sweet potato. I'm all the way over here, and I'm still feeling it here at the top layer. Let's see how far this one's going to go. That's a good 10, 12 inches there for this one already. Again, it's not massive, but it's, and I broke it. And I broke it. Let's see what it was all the way over here. Oh, this is super, super long sweet potato. Feels like this one's ready. There we go. And then there's this one, which is, and then there's another one here too. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when you see more. And this is a pretty big one right here. Oh, and there's another one right here too. Okay, I'm not joking when I say for harvesting these 15 plants, we could probably have a 2-hour plus video. I mean, really, just getting in here. There we go. I mean, they're pretty nice size overall. Nothing in here so far has struck me as being absolutely massive, but just the length of time we could take to be out here to harvest. If I didn't cut any of these where I'm digging, etc., we could definitely have that kind of length of video too. I'll tell you something else. Because I'm digging in here without gloves on, I am wrecking the tips of my fingers. I would have a hard time feeling anything, I think, with gloves on. So, you know, I can't really complain. That's my doing. But I think I would ruin everything if I came in here with gloves at this point. So I kind of have to do what I'm doing right now. Now imagine you're doing this kind of harvest and you're carrying a camera. Oh, wait. That's what I'm doing. All right, this one's ready. This feels like a surgeon, and you get something just right. There's a moment of excitement when it's ready to come out of the ground, especially when it looks like that one. This one's easier. Hey, thank you. Thank you for coming out so easily. All right, I think I got right underneath the edge of this one. Just going to pop it right out. I don't know if I broke it or not. I don't think I did. Yeah, that was way down there. Oh, yeah, see, I cut off part of it. It looked like the small end of that one was coming way over here. Yeah, there's the rest of that. Main sweet potato is right here. That one didn't look like it was as vigorous a grower, I'll say, as the other sweet potatoes I saw out here or that I've seen around it. So I'm not 100% surprised. And you see a couple of volunteer tomatoes made their way into this bed. If I leave these in here, and for some of them it's definitely too late, but we're going to have tons of volunteer cherry tomatoes in here next season as well. What's interesting is sometimes you see the tops of the sweet potatoes that have grown peeking through the surface. There, I can kind of see a little something there, but these seem to be not doing that for me. They seem to be going just deeper, saying, come and get me. There's one right here, kind of going off to the side. I got you. You can see that. I just broke it off the top, but that's the one. Let's get to, oh, no, it's not actually that big. I thought it was bigger. You can see that nasty brownish, grayish color. That's what's underneath our clay topsoil, and it is just rock city. That stuff is terrible. So it's not that hard to find at a not too deep of a depth that nasty soil underneath. All right, there we go. There's the one. There's the one that cost us all that effort. There's a couple on this one. I was going to say I'm going to stop predicting the size of the sweet potatoes at this point because I don't always get it right. But this one, another healthy looking slip here up at the top. So I'm hoping what that means is a couple really nice sweet potatoes. But what can I say? I don't know. It does look like there's some size to this one as well, the one that I'm uncovering right here, and it looks like there's one right beside it. It's not the one that I was looking at though. That's this one right here. That's the one I'm trying to bring up. I don't think it's all that long necessarily, but it's got a good size to it. Decent one, I think, coming off the other side. Those are just two of them side by side, and those are pretty nice. I haven't really talked too much about the size of this bed. It's about 15 square feet. If you can make a bed that's not square into square feet. It's the biggest bed in our front garden space, the biggest single bed out of all the ones that we have out here. All right, it's taken me a couple minutes to get to a point now where I've uncovered this sweet potato, and I don't think this one's very big. I'm just gonna get this one pulled out. Yeah, that one's not that big, but I think I feel another couple right underneath here. So what I want to do, I am just going to pull this up, and I'm going to try a technique here I like to call please come up, because this is getting difficult. All right, there you go. Thank you, I appreciate you. All right, this one was broken earlier, but I appreciate those sweet potatoes playing along with me here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a little rushy there. I didn't see where it was attached fully right down in here. I'm wondering what my hands look like at this point. Yeah, it's going to take some scrubbing. I'll be honest with you, at this point in the harvest, I'm getting a little bit worn out. I don't usually have that problem with a sweet potato harvest or a potato harvest of any kind, but this one is getting me. Here we go. There's another nice one. Well, this is another small one. There's more mud on that one than there was a sweet potato. You know, we sometimes get rain out here this time of year for sure, but I don't think we ever get this 2-inch variety. It's really made a mess of this clay. All right, for this one, I've done all the legwork up front. So you got 1, 2, there's another one right over here. All these look to be pretty decent size. I'm going to get them all ready to pull, and then I'll come back. All right, here we go. I loosened it. I loosened this one. This one. See if I can get in here, loosen this one. I may actually be able to pull this, slip out. Oh, there's another one underneath though. Okay, it's not going to all come out in one piece, but this might be the best slip so far in terms of overall production, because we've got some pretty nice size to this. The only difference between this and the other slips that I can see is that we have a green stalk where we are growing a whole bunch of different vegetables on the other side of this, and I'm wondering if it shaded out some of the other ones. Oh, see, there's the only one so far that I've broken. Oh, and it was a nice one too. It still is a nice one, don't get me wrong, but this one had a whole bunch of sweet potatoes on here. Yeah, definitely our most productive, definitely the one I was able to get out the best in one piece. I think this might be the biggest one, or well, right up there, but this is all from one single slip here. That's fantastic production right there. I finally see one fairly close to the surface, at least the top of it's fairly is right up there, which has not been common for this harvest whatsoever. And it looks like this is a pretty nice one too, and maybe another one, nice one right beside it. But let's go ahead. I'm going to pop it off right here at the stem, so it's easy pickings. I'll take more of these like this, and I still broke off a little bit there at the end. I don't think there's very much though. I tell you what, when I say I bring you along for a harvest, I bring you along for the harvest, you know? You can enjoy this time out here with me. I hope you enjoy this time out here with me, even in these challenging harvests. You know, this is something that I'll be able to look back on later on in life too. I'll have some fond memories that this kind of forces on me. I would say that there are some pretty nice sweet potatoes that came out of here. A lot of ones that I broke way more than my fair share of these sweet potatoes, but still, we got some decent size. Folks, that was a tedious and long harvest. However, we did get some pretty nice sweet potatoes, and by the time we finished here, some of the ones we harvested at the beginning have already started to dry out a little bit because we've been out here for a couple of hours. Hey, you know what? Last year I said, are we gonna grow in here again? And I said, probably not, because it's a tough place to grow. Guess what? We'll probably grow in here again next season. If we don't let it rain 2 inches before we come out and harvest, we may also not have to harvest in the mud. Well, I enjoyed this harvest even with the difficulties, and I hope you enjoyed joining me and getting down here in the mud to get these sweet potatoes out. Hey, if you enjoyed today's harvest, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, here with us, you are good to grow.